What's up, guys? This is another episode. We're finishing the wheel here, and I'm lagging a lot in the start of this as the shaders get loaded. It's actually some of the worst. It's giving me a headache, but we're gonna push through. Um, just I don't even know what's happening. So my inputs still register, but they're just not you can't see what's going on. So I just have to play with that in mind and try to keep like an idea of escape route in case something really bad happens with the boss or something. And this is terrible. It does get smoother as like the days progress. This is all in one sitting, so it's kind of the worst it would be. At least I'm not crashing with other people. But um, it's it's just hard. It's hard to play with like your game freezing like that. And there's some bugs with the spirit. Sometimes like it doesn't spawn, or like before you're in view it starts moving. Like the guy is there, but the spirit is not. And the music is playing. But yeah, here it's like, okay, well, let's get the fire mental going. I'm taking a lot of damage. I need more evasion, and I'm gonna be trying to get for block like a glancing blow at some point. The main reason is because this is gonna be a block energy shield build, evasion energy shield build, um, and especially with the shield, like I really don't need like I'm really vulnerable to like physical damage and huge bursts of damage if I'm like my evasion is low before I get enough energy shield to like tank everything. So just having like you can't rely on armor because it doesn't work for big hits, and big hits are what usually kill me at least. It's pretty rare for me to die to like mobs, so it's usually bosses that one-shot me. So it's like really important that I have some layer of defense to like block. And I'm not sure if they have uh, spell block here, but at least with the physical damage I can reduce that as long as it's consistent, because it should be good. I'm just running into everything. Like, I am just literally just going, okay, whatever. My flask would heal me through all. Um, I would say that they should probably reduce flask region when taking damage, at least for like a little debuff, and then the cooldown for that debuff. But uh, I think it might be a little too much right now with how many people are bitching about this game. So yeah, I'm just not playing as well right now.
Over there.
So here I should just try to get a frenzy charge. I should try to get a frenzy charge, and then I should use it for when I spawn the boss, or when I spawn this person. And I'm releasing the tornado. Yeah, could be doing this better.
Hold on.
I probably could get away with just 2 tornadoes here. I don't need whirlwinds. I don't need 3.
The thought who have already died. They fought well enough.
And the voice lines for these characters are right. I like this. I like the accent, but she doesn't really say much. Like, there's no real story with her. Um, like if you go to the Marauder, he's Renly's son, and the mercenary has some thoughts about, like, for example, like he likes the I forgot the people's name. I'm tired. He likes the people in the deserts because their love of trade, but then he gets into a little bit annoyed that like or dismayed that they use slaves to move the caravan. Mhm. I should probably separate these settings out more. But yeah, it's I get the rake ability and soon and well after this, and I try to use it a lot in the grove there, the underground area where the druid is, and it doesn't work well in that area because how the poison on the ground that the shooting there's enemies that shoot a lot of like poison spit, and in a tight area there's no movement around. So it's better just to tornado
Double
everywhere.
as is.
Um, but I think I try to use the rake a lot here. Here is just it's just the same stuff as usual. Like you kind of can't. So one of the things that I do wish you would change, and I know they're gonna change, is that the Huntress has other ways to get frenzy charges early on. Because later on she does, but early on she doesn't, and it's kind of like you want to do different things, right? I think that's what's the worst things about this game, is that early on, um, for a game that's trying to be so expressive, you really can't do much because you're so limited in what skills you have available to you.
Need more time.
And I feel like they can up the variety of the skills that they give you. Like it would be cool if we had some like
Aye, I'm hearing voices now. And yet the spirits stay silent.
like it would be cool if we had more like misclass abilities. So like one of the things that the ranger gets works for the huntress as well through your spears, which is um barrage. And it would be cool to have more cross-class synergy like that, because I do feel like it's a little too restrictive, because early on you just don't have access to a lot of skills, and you have to wait before you get like a good utility set, and so you're just rocking like certain things you find strong. They did nerf Tornado Elemental. Apparently there was a bug, and the bug is it gives way more damage to Tornado with Elemental than it is supposed to. The build is still viable, it still works endgame, but from what I've seen, but it's just not as strong.
Need a moment.
I think I'm really good. Well, it'll probably Lightning Huntress, and with uh, not the Lightning Spear because it's just boring, but it does a lot of damage. But it's probably gonna get patched out. But like ancestral, like the Shocking Lightning Rod, uh, the Flame Rod is still gonna be there. I'll still use World NATO, but I think I'm gonna use my main is gonna try to make it to Lightning Ground to uh, like Rake Ancestral or Primal Attack or whatever that skill is called. But it's gonna be a while before I get it. Yeah, I'm yawning a lot today. And playing my mercenary, the loading screen in Act 3 is way better than Act 1. It's like they improved it a lot. It loads faster, it's more stable, doesn't drop frames a lot in the town and in the encampment. And it feels smoother to move around in there. Like I shouldn't have this many optimization problems because I can play like Battlefield 4 and ultra grasters with like 100 people in my screen with projectiles being shot everywhere, and I don't have this lag issue that I have here. So I think NVIDIA drivers in particular is like they've been having trouble optimizing, and maybe NVIDIA's kind of shitting the bed. So hopefully they can keep making improvements to the earlier acts, because the later ones that actually feel a little better, at least in town.
Sorry, I've collected these over time. What do you think?
And remember, identifying items gives you more gold, so it's like significantly more gold compared to the non-identified items. You should always identify them. And I was thinking, if you get a unique later on, that's supposed to be early leveling, like my helmet. Well, I have some stuff from the mercenary like that's like obviously supposed to be used early level. I think they give you fracturing orbs, a fracturing orb if you disenchant it. I think they should give you 2 to 3 depending on how many mods are on it for uniques, because you rarely get uniques in the first place. And so if you get one that's like early level, it's like useless, and like getting a fracture orb is like it ruins all the dopamine hit that you get for getting a unique. So if they made it so that you could disenchant it for like minimum 2 fracturing orb shards, that would be really cool. And the rarity of it balances out the amount of orbs you're gonna getting, because you're only getting shards. Like so far, I think through the entire time I've been playing, I saw like some like 6 or 7 uniques, and it's like 127 hours.
Stick to the cairns.
Hello. I've collected these. Oh, I like this one.
Yeah, and so like always, just sell, you know, anything that you're gonna use later, or anything that's not gonna be disenchanted or broken down later with the salvage bench. And sometimes I really do wonder whether or not I should just keep these in the segment, because it's kind of boring, I think. But maybe you like to see it. Like these videos would be cut down by like 10 minutes if I if I just get rid of that part.
Over there. Bound to be
But
runes in that pile.
yeah, there's not much to say. Just, you know, normal stuff. I'm playing poorly. I'm tired, but I do clear this pretty well. Like you have more than enough HP with the flask to heal this at this point. Just go for HP items in the shop, and go for energy shield and evasion. I will need to increase my intelligence, ideally through weapon attributes, because in order to keep getting more evasion and energy shield items. But she does so much damage on base anyway that you don't need to go offense for the most part. Like you can focus on defense, and it makes her way easier to use. Offense until later. Like you get offense later. You have a lot of good notes near you. So when something says like projectile attacks or stuff like that. I wonder if it works for um elemental projectiles too, or just the base damage. So like, let's say if I have an elemental projectile, like a spell, would that be considered a increased damage by your projectile attack? I'm kind of interested in that. I'm not sure. I've seen people use frost spells to give like chill ground, or to use the animals, but for the tornado. But I don't think um, it's not as strong anymore as it used to. So I think I like the idea of the Huntress. I kind of see the Huntress if they get rid of like the bugs that clearly is just like in Lightning Sphere, which um, when you're one-shotting a mod, watch like Taco to try like one-shot mods with it with thing. It's like a thing where it's like the particle effect literally goes into like cover your screen. Like the center of your screen is just lightning. It just kills everything if it's not high enough HP, and then it drops off a cliff if they are. But then you just shock them with it, and then you get it's just like primal slash or something, and it just blows everything up. If you can hit all your attacks with primal slash, so those things are getting nerfed for sure. But I kind of see the right place for the Huntress as like using different skills,
The thrill of the hunt.
not like having like
The eye of the storm.
5 or 6 skills actively being used versus like 2 primary and then or like 3 primary like a mercenary and then like 2 secondary support skills. And I know, like, one of the interesting things is, like, the trees in this game are way more boring than PoE 1. Like, especially without the mastery talent tree, portions of it, where you can get some pretty strong buffs for certain builds early. Um, and all the notables, of course. Like, PoE 2 is, right now is lacking, which I imagine will be improved in the future. However, something that PoE has and PoE doesn't is that you really can just like rotate between different skills in this game, right? Because the passive skill tree is basically generic stuff that your character wants. Other than the armors, like you really damage is damage, right? Like unless you're trying to beeline towards specific nodes, you know, pretty much anything you pick is going to be useful, and it's not going to hurt you. So I wonder if like I kind of find it weird where people want to focus so hard on like a single like set ability or like a set of abilities to use, and it's like there's so many with the support gems now. There's so many ways to do damage and to get utility and stuff like that. That it's kind of weird that you don't like want to use more. Like the mercenary, like I have gas arrow, I have explosive grenade, I have um, high velocity and emergency
Reckon that's the
reload
last of them.
and the tar grenade, right? And I use all of those things on a regular. And I see some people play like Rue, and he's like he switched to the crossbow and is like okay with the game now. But like I see him play with um, like galvanized shock for mobs and clear, and then he plays with and I see him play with flashbang, the fire shot. I forgot the name of it. I can't even use it. Like the fire crossbow, like it's faster. It does more fire damage over time. And I'm like, you know, like you could add in like a little more utility there, right? Like you don't have to just use flashbang for your combo and stuff. Like there's more you could be doing. And if it's like really fast mobs, like targeting is really good, right? So I kind of feel like people focus too much on like trying to get like 1 or 2 things they do, and that's it. And this boss is going down pretty quick. Pretty easy to fight, honestly. Once you know to dodge his ultimate,
I'll not
basically.
make the journey home like that.
Something I really should work on is I really should make my character like use disengage more, because disengage actually is a roll. It
I've enough
phases
in the
through
pack already.
projectiles melee attacks, so it's just a better roll with a small cooldown, right? Like a few, like a literally like a half second cooldown, or something, like a second cooldown. So you can use disengage to basically dodge out of everything, and completely disengage from the fight. Um, Whereas with rolling, I think rolling needs to be buffed. To be honest, with the attack speed even early on, it's like there's so many times where you roll and it's like, well, unless you have a shield to hold up, or you have an attack that moves like whirlwind, um, that you can dodge with, basically, because how fast you can move. It's like it's only good for fully disengaging, and even there, some fast monsters can still catch up, and like you need ways to like slow them down. Like Warrior Marauder needs to use Shockwave twice in order to get away from like the wolves and the wolf. Right, this is Act 1. And I do think the movement speed and the I think monsters are too. The problem is monsters are too simple, like with how much range and movement your characters typically have, especially range characters, they need to get on top of you really quickly, and they don't do anywhere near enough damage individually in order to threaten you. Right, through flash, especially, like you see me doing, just flasking through everything when I take a large amount of damage. So what they need to do is somewhat reduce the regen from healing if you're taking damage, make there so there's like a few less monsters so you don't get overrun, and then just increase their power and make them a little smarter so they will like try to go around you and stuff and make them so harder to hit, so you can't just like blow them up into immediately with AoE, because right now they like all they can do is just run at you, and they either get you or they don't. I think that's the issue currently with Division, the game, is that monsters are actually not responsive enough. They don't have many ways to deal with you. They only have charge, and if they do so little damage in comparison that the only way they're really a threat is if they surround you, which is rare, especially now with their dodge rolls changing, and with disengage especially, it's like insanely unlikely you get caught. But with the dodge roll making your size so small, you can pretty much run around any surround. Like you could get out of any surround. I've had situations in my mercenary where I'm like surrounded by like, 10, 15 mobs and I get through, right? Like just, you know, weave between the pixels. So I think they have mods so fast because they need that to deal with you, because the mobs can't do it any way, and so that they need to improve that so they can lower the speed, because it's too much. Like as a warrior, like as a huntress, you see me dodge roll, and then I have to like move again with a movement skill, or dodge roll again because there's an attack coming right after. And they really need to remove a lot of, or reduce a lot of the ground effects duration, because it is way too much in these narrow passages. Like I remember playing
Yes.
through,
Please, take your time.
like uh, uh Count Junior's mansion, and the blood puddles just locking you out of combat is like wild. That should never be that long.
Here are your spikes, but I would ask what. Anything take your fancy?
Must take a proper smith to forge runes like these.
Yeah, so that's it. This is a pretty short video. Uh, I don't really have anything to say left. I think they need to reduce the duration of on depth effects. I think they need to be more clear. Like they need to come off the ground more particles so you can see them better. And I think they need to be less of them, to be honest. I think there's too many, especially when you get like mobs which have on depth effects. Like it becomes like a clusterfuck. And it's like if you're playing a melee character, you're trying to do melee things. It like you can't. The fact that you can't, you have to wait like 2-3 seconds before you can do it, and it's like constantly spawning. Like that's way too much. And then buffing roll or
Take a
nerfing.
look.
I think buffing roll would be better. Just make it so that you don't have much lag, so you can attack after. Even if you can't like do another roll immediately after, or like do a travel skill, like you should be able to attack because the monsters attack too fast even early on
Till
for
next
rolls
time.
to when you're facing multiple monsters that shoot projectiles at you to like effectively deal with them while being able to tank. Like you just have to tank through them, right? So HP becomes the most valuable thing because like you know the only hits that really kill you are high damaging hits, and even then with flash they have to be high damaging hits in succession, or they need to be high damaging hits um, after a quick attack, and that's just not interesting. Like bosses are really easy once you play them through once, but it's like the meta stuff that makes them faster or slower for most people, I think. Like they don't know how to abuse shops by selling a bunch of stuff and just buying things from shops, never gambling, not even trying for disenchants, just using your gold. I also saw the Recombinator has lower um, chance to combine even the minimum of like you have to pick a mod for both items. Uh, if you dare rare mods, I think that's a terrible mistake too, because the whole point of the Recombinator is that you're able to, once you get to a certain point in the game, progression becomes consistently harder because the value of the mods themselves outscale the value of the damage you get from the weapon or the armor innovation. Like the mods count for what that is. You get a lot. So you have a item that's like super high level comparatively, or you need
You
to
have
just
them.
like get
Stay safe,
good mods.
if you can.
And so
Good.
the rare mods
Now the
are like
others.
Here's hoping
increasingly
I don't
more and
come to
more
regret.
unlikely, and then you have no real way to progress because you're always missing other mods that you need, right? Like you might have one on one weapon, and then you have garbage on on for the rest of the mods you get on it, but your main weapon has like good mods and like a great mods, like two great mods, and it's like how do you replace that? So they need to make it so that the Recombinator
Safe,
is
if you can.
like it should be the same as if you're doing tier 1 mods. So tier 1 mods should be calmed at the same percentage rate as tier like 9. Um, and the fact that they're so rare balances out the fact that like and you could also like say 34% for them. The fact that they're so rare balances out the fact that like you um this is deterministic, and you still need ground weapons, right? Like you still need weapons that you either enchant with regals and stuff, or augmentations, or you find. So it fits the description. I'm surprised they decided to
Spirits in the
make it so
trees
low.
be
'Cause I
damned.
think it was like
You actually entered the Red Veil
0.1%
and
or something like
survived.
that to like
Every organ. So, you found.
do the minimum
Go
mods
make a
for
legend of it.
like tier
A
9, like the
wound,
best
only
tier
by
for
a
one
Capgreen tan.
mod, and the best tier for another
Hello.
weapon on that's another mod.
I heard you're heading for the village. Anything take your fancy?
yeah, in the next video, we're gonna see Ogden Village. We're gonna go through the crop field. I think it's gonna be pretty quick. We just have to go to the crop. No, first we gotta do the crow wheel, the crow bell. No, we gotta do the crypt. Then it's the crow bell. And then it's the area. Then it's the uh the crop field.
Till next time.
So we still got a bit to go. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this short video and maybe you learned something. I'm probably gonna head to bed soon. See ya.
If the Fae spirits are still watching, the old magic still thrive. The way is open. Please, hurry.
Nothing like a spot of song to chase away the gloom.